Hi, this is Kevin from Let Me Tech You, and in this video, we're going to be I'm going to be showing you how to protect your sensitive input variables. And if you can see here in our virtual machine, which is the same project we've been working on in our videos for this Terraform Associate 003 list of videos, we have our username and password stated directly inside of our main.tf file. And this is a problem for a lot of different reasons. One, you got your password to a VM directly inside the file that anyone could have access to. The file itself might you would typically might check these into like some type of version control. So you might even be having your keys or passwords exposed to people who might have access to that particular set of files as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these not necessarily in a variables file, but in what's called a tfvars file. Now we haven't really talked about this, but tfvars is a way to kind of more take. So inside our variables we have defaults. Now when you don't want to necessarily have everything hard coded as defaults, because like let's say you wanted to use these variables for other regions or other environments, you would have to come in and change these every single time. So they have what are called variable files or tfvars files, which you can set up to run along your Terraform apply and plan and whatnot. And you can pass variables across those for various different things, all pointing to the same variable files or variables that you create. So we're going to create two here. We're going to call one's going to call VM underscore username. And then we're going to create another one called variable VM underscore password. So what we need to do now also is create a file called, we're just going to call it, let's call it prod.tfvars. And in there, what we need is the name. So VM underscore username. And in the tfvars file, all you need is the actual variable name and then the value. Where are we at here? So this is going to equal, and this is going to equal, and then inside of here, I'm just going to take, so that's admin user, but then I'm going to take this password here. And set that as my password, and then username is going to be admin user. And inside of our variables file, what we're going to have is our description, the value name. So for here, we're going to have this as, that's it. Well, so for the value, just put VM username. And then for the type, we're going to do string. And we have what's called sensitive. So sensitive, so this says whether the variable contains sensitive material and should be hidden in the UI. And we're going to say true. So we're going to do the same thing for our password. And VM password. And it's going to be a string, and then sensitive is true. So now what we can do is go back into our main.tf, take these out, and we're going to go var.vm username, and then var.vm password. Let's go ahead and save that. So now we declared those as sensitive. We have a variable created. We set the values inside our tfvars. And we set the values inside our variables. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do let's do this here. pull this in, make sure these are all saved. Let me close out any of these here. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and see, we're going to apply this here. And in the way that you apply your tfvars file is using the -var file. So Terraform, form, plan, and then if you do, let's do a -h. And if you go up, you see where it says -var file. If you don't use that, it's not going to use that tfvars file. So you're going to get an error because it's not going to pass the username and password into the file. Well, you won't get an error. It's just going to make you actually type something in. So now let's go Terraform, plan, dash, what was it here? var dash file. And the file equal to prod.tfvars. Now it's just a username and password. So I mean, you could put more stuff in the tfvars file. Like I could actually, come in and take these defaults out, put them in there, because like let's say a good thing would be, let's say you have a not only a prod but you have a dev, but you want to use these same variables, the same main.tf. You can then or you might even be putting your resource group in a different location because you're instead of being in central US, it could be in the east. So now you could have a prod. Actually, I'll do like a dev dot tf vars, and then inside of there you would still have rg underscore location, rg equals let's do central US, or let's do east US, and then in the prod we would have a rg underscore location equals central US. Save that. And let's go into our variables. We are going to take this out. And that's it. So now we have that inside of our prod.tfr. So now we can, essentially use the same variable across multiple tfvars files for different locations without having to then, each time we run this, we would have to change this value here, or we'd have to create, like, say, another variable for rg underscore location 2 if we wanted to create two different environments within the same main.tf, but you get into duplicating code that doesn't really need to be duplicated. So now if we go into here, we will see where's our virtual machine. So let me see if it will show. Okay, here we go. So admin password sensitive value. So you can't actually see the value in the UI. So kind of keeps from any type of snooping or anything like that. So then when you do the apply, same thing. You want to still keep the TFR file argument there. And then we're going to go ahead and test this out here. So now let's see. That should still say sensitive value. For the resource group, we're still getting central US for the location. We're going to enter yes. And we're going to let that apply here. Now, with that being said, that's one way to kind of start decoupling more of your code and protecting sensitive values and keys by using tfvars files, because typically they say you don't want to actually commit these to source control, because it will contain those, passwords and things of that nature, specific keys and stuff like that. But there may be times, depending on the environment that you're working in, where you will need to share those variables across your environment. So you might, have to store that in some type of secure location. Again, in our next video, we'll start talking about how to output some of this data and query some of this so that you could possibly even use this for other portions of your code. Again, if you have any questions in regards to this video, and this short brief stint of talking about sensitive input variables and other use cases, drop me a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back with you again. Hopefully, if you have any other questions in regards to so far in the videos we have gotten to, just go ahead and reach out to me again on any of those videos, and I'll try to help out as much as I can. Again, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next time.